Imagine discovering a document that's over 2,000 years old. A document that could change everything we think we know about one of the most important events in history, the resurrection of Jesus Christ. This ancient script reveals truths so powerful and so controversial that they've been overlooked and even hidden for centuries. This lost manuscript presents a unique perspective on the resurrection, with a single verse that contradicts the conventional narratives we've heard. What if the resurrection wasn't just about Jesus coming back to life, but about something much bigger, something that directly affects you right now in ways you never imagined? Most people only hear one version of the resurrection, a simple story of a man who rose from the dead. But what if that's only part of the story? This isn't some ordinary historical record. This is something that has the potential to turn everything upside down. That's precisely why people have ignored it for so long. Imagine the chaos if people discovered that there's a secret meaning to the resurrection, something that even religious leaders have avoided addressing for centuries. It's not just about a miraculous return from death, it's about a hidden plan that could hold the key to eternal life, a truth so profound that it could reshape how you see yourself and your place in the universe. And the scariest part? Most of us have never heard it. According to this 2,000-year-old text, the resurrection of Jesus was more than just proof of his divine nature. It signified a deeper, universal reality, a spiritual transformation that has eluded generations. The resurrection represents a second chance for the entire world, not just the resurrection of one man. You have a second opportunity to embrace life and comprehend your genuine mission. This ancient manuscript reveals that Jesus' resurrection not only demonstrated his power, but also provided a direct path to eternal life for all humanity. Many of the details surrounding the resurrection that we've heard over the years, the miracles, the supernatural signs, might not have been exactly what we think. Time and tradition later distorted some of those stories. The truth is, most people go through life never questioning the deeper meaning behind what they've been told. Around 33 AD, the crucifixion condemns Jesus of Nazareth, a man who has performed miracles, healed the sick, and taught about love, to a brutal death. However, this hidden document reveals that the true depth of his sacrifice surpasses the physical torment we've heard about. The document reveals that the pain and suffering of the cross were not merely physical, they were part of a larger spiritual battle. The crucifixion of his physical body did not constitute the real sacrifice. It was something that no one could see, the cosmic struggle between life and death, between humanity's sinful nature and the promise of eternal life. And here's the terrifying part. Without this ultimate act of love, the gateway to eternal redemption might have remained closed forever. According to this ancient text, Jesus' crucifixion was necessary to prevent humanity from being eternally separated from God. Could you imagine spending eternity locked out of God's very presence? This document suggests that without this act of sacrifice, the connection between humanity and the divine would have been severed for good. The thought of eternal separation from everything good, loving, and peaceful is a terrifying prospect. And it's one we rarely consider when thinking about the resurrection story. But this manuscript reveals that Jesus knew the full weight of what was at stake. His decision to endure suffering wasn't just about saving souls from sin. It was about restoring humanity's broken relationship with God. This was the only way to give us eternal life. The manuscript describes a pivotal moment. Tension was in the air as Jesus carried his cross to Golgotha, the site of his crucifixion. Many believed this was the end. Devastated by his followers, even some of his enemies feared that his death might hold a deeper significance than they were ready to acknowledge. This document explains that in this moment, the fate of humanity hung in the balance. Here's where it gets even more chilling. If Jesus had not carried out this divine plan, the spiritual door to redemption would have remained shut. Think about that for a second. Without this sacrifice, There would be no chance for humanity to escape the endless cycle of sin and suffering. There would be no hope for a life beyond death. According to this text, redemption isn't just a feel-good word. It's a real, tangible state that Jesus opened up for every soul, but only if they truly understand and accept the deeper meaning of his death and resurrection. Many people have misunderstood this message. We have glossed over the true depth of Jesus' sacrifice over the years. Some see his death merely as a symbolic act, while others believe it was just one of many stories in religious texts. But this 2,000-year-old document insists that Jesus' death was the turning point for humanity's spiritual evolution. He didn't die just to show his followers that he was willing to suffer. He died because redemption was impossible without his sacrifice. A divine plan in motion since the beginning of time necessitated his death. The crucifixion of Jesus symbolized humanity's redemption from sin and death. According to the manuscript, it requires something from us too. We must recognize the true cost of this sacrifice and actively choose to follow the path it opened for us. Ignoring this truth, the document warns, could lead to missing out on eternal life altogether. If you are new here, I invite you to be part of our community by subscribing to this channel. This ancient manuscript tells us that redemption is a gift, but it's not something we can take for granted. It's something we must choose. The idea that Jesus' death opened the gates to eternal life is one of the most powerful messages in history, but without understanding its true depth, we risk leaving those gates shut for ourselves. Redemption is within reach, but it's up to you to grasp it. The true story of Jesus' sacrifice isn't just about what happened 2,000 years ago. It's about what happens next, for you, for humanity, and for the entire world. Jesus' sacrifice was the ultimate act of love, not just to forgive sins, but to save humanity from eternal separation from God. Understanding this isn't just important, it's essential. According to the 2,000-year-old manuscript, disobedience is what sets the stage for the entire human condition, and understanding it is the key to unlocking our spiritual growth. Before we talk about the resurrection, we need to go way back to the very start of humanity. The document tells us that the original act of disobedience wasn't just about breaking a rule. It was about rejecting divine guidance. This disobedience began with Adam and Eve when they ate the forbidden fruit. It wasn't just about the act of eating. It was about choosing to go against the natural order, the harmony that God had created for humanity. In doing so, they opened the door to sin, confusion, and separation from God, a spiritual distance that has haunted humanity ever since. But here's the twist. This wasn't just a one-time event that happened to Adam and Eve. The manuscript states that every human's spiritual journey incorporates this disobedience passed down through generations. Think of disobedience as a barrier, a wall that separates us from reaching our full spiritual potential. The document makes it clear that this barrier isn't just about individual mistakes. It's a collective disconnection from the divine plan. When we live in disobedience, we become trapped in a cycle of materialism, self-interest, and spiritual blindness. Many of us remain trapped in this cycle, even with the resurrection as a beacon of hope. The manuscript warns that disobedience continues to prevent us from growing spiritually. It's not enough to believe in Jesus' resurrection. We need to actively reject disobedience and follow a higher spiritual path. The manuscript outlines a journey of spiritual growth that begins with recognizing the disobedience in our lives. It's not just about acknowledging that we've made mistakes. It's about transforming our entire approach to life. Spiritual growth isn't automatic. It requires conscious effort, self-reflection, and the desire to evolve beyond material concerns. Think of it like climbing a mountain. Each step takes effort, and the higher you go, the more you leave behind the distractions and temptations of everyday life. Spiritual growth is about ascending beyond what you see in the physical world and tapping into a deeper connection with God. But here's where most people stumble. They attempt spiritual growth while clinging to their old, disobedient habits. It's like trying to climb a mountain while carrying a heavy backpack full of unnecessary baggage. We'll never succeed if we don't let go of this burden, says the manuscript. One of the most chilling warnings in the document is about the danger of spiritual stagnation. Disobedience leads to stagnation. It halts our spiritual progress and keeps us in a state of ignorance and fear. You see, spiritual growth requires movement, a constant striving toward higher understanding and connection with the divine. When we allow disobedience to go unchecked, we stop moving. We repeat the same patterns, mistakes, and worst of all, distance from God. And this isn't just a problem for a few, it's a problem for humanity as a whole. The document suggests that entire communities, even entire nations, can fall into spiritual decline if disobedience takes root. But there's hope. The ancient text makes it clear that spiritual growth is possible for anyone willing to make the effort. The resurrection is a continuous invitation to grow, evolve, and surpass our current state. To grow spiritually, we must first wake up. We need to recognize the disobedience in our own lives and choose to break free from it. This isn't easy. It takes courage to face our flaws, to challenge our old ways of thinking, and to rise above the distractions of the world. But the manuscript promises that for those who make the effort, the reward is worth it. A deeper connection with God, a life filled with purpose, and the ultimate gift, eternal life. This 2,000-year-old document reveals that the love Jesus demonstrated wasn't just about showing kindness and mercy. It was a divine force, so intense that it could reshape the entire universe. Let's start with divine love. Think about the love you experience in your life, the love of a parent, a friend, or a partner. Imagine a love so immense that it transcends every human experience. This is the kind of love described in the manuscript. Divine love is unconditional and all-encompassing, but here's where it becomes extraordinary. It's not just an emotional feeling, it's a living force that can heal, transform, and elevate the human soul to a state of purity and perfection. The document describes Jesus' love as so powerful that it bridged the gap between humanity and God, closing the spiritual divide resulting from disobedience and sin. His love wasn't just an act of kindness, it was an active force, working to restore balance and harmony between the physical world and the divine. Many people fail to connect with this love because they don't fully understand it. They think divine love is about being good or doing kind things for others. And while that's part of it, the manuscript insists that the real meaning of Jesus' love goes far beyond surface-level actions. This manuscript has revealed that the stakes are significantly higher than previously believed. The resurrection wasn't just about the past, it's about the present and the future. It's about each one of us choosing to live a life that reflects divine love and true forgiveness. A life that seeks spiritual growth and a deeper connection to God. But the most chilling realization from this document is that many will miss out on this gift of salvation. Why? This is due to their inability to comprehend or actively engage with the genuine significance of the resurrection. They may go through the motions of faith but never take that vital next step, opening their hearts to the transformative power of Jesus' love and forgiveness. If we don't wake up to these deeper truths, if we don't actively pursue a life guided by love and spiritual growth, we risk missing out on everything the resurrection was meant to give us: eternal life, peace, and true freedom. This is the moment of decision. The resurrection is not just a story to reflect on, it's a call to action. The manuscript makes it clear that Jesus' sacrifice wasn't just for the people of his time. It was for you, right now. It was for every soul that longs for redemption, for every person struggling to find meaning in a world filled with pain and confusion. This ancient text's core message is that the resurrection is a continuous process, inviting all of us to participate. But we must make the choice to engage with it, to rise above the distractions and temptations of the material world, and to seek a life transformed by divine love. The truth revealed in this document is powerful. It challenges everything we think we know about faith and life, but it also offers incredible hope. Jesus' resurrection is more than just a promise. It's a guarantee that no matter how lost we feel, no matter how far we've strayed, there is a path back to God. And that path is open to anyone willing to walk it. If there's one thing this document makes clear, it's that the resurrection is an ongoing journey, not a final destination. It's a call to spiritual freedom that we must continually choose day after day. And that choice isn't always easy. It requires us to confront our disobedience, let go of past mistakes, and open ourselves to a love so powerful that it transforms everything it touches. Thanks for watching, and until the next video.